Yeah, Louisiana, there's a couple different ways of looking at it. One way is when you turn it over 5 times and don't take it away, you're not giving yourself a chance to win the game. It's not impossible, but it's nearly impossible. Those 5 turnovers were all in the second half. We're up 14-0. And even I think at the end of the third, it was 21-21. They had 28 points off of our turnovers, and obviously we're completely responsible for the turnovers. But you can't win football games by turning the ball over, giving the ball away, and not taking it away. So, we just talked about how we need to make that game an anomaly in that way. It doesn't mean that it was an anomaly until we prove the rest of the season that we can take care of the ball. We also uncharacteristically had 10 penalties, so we were, super sloppy in terms of the penalties. Otherwise, I asked our guys to play really, really hard and to play physically, and I think that shone through. First, defensively, I was really proud of our effort, how hard we were playing, how physical we were. And so I'm not taking that away just because we lost the game. There was great effort, and there were stretches we were playing, really, really good football. But the 4 things we talked about were playing physical, playing really, really hard, taking care of the ball, taking the ball away, and we obviously failed miserably in the second 2.
Coach, not too concerned about Louisiana, but the lightning delay. They've kind of become a thing over the last few years where I know we've had them in Northern Illinois and we had one at home, but is that become a game in its own, like how to manage that delay and be ready to get back out on the field? Because it was, 45 minutes or so. How tough is that on you guys?
I think the tough thing is that it's so unpredictable, and then when you're in it, you just don't know how long it's going to be.
Right.
So there's really no. At Northern Illinois, we kept the guys, ready to go. We're going to get back in there. It's 20 minutes. Let's go. And then it ended up being about 3 hours. So at what point do you say, hey, take your pads off? We're trying to get food brought in here. And, and then this one was 45 minutes. And at first it was 30, and it could have been just 30 minutes. They said at first, it was like, hey, there's nothing else showing up. We're going to be in and out. So, and that has nothing to do with, whether you're home or away. Whether you've been in 15 straight or not, it's just right. Different, every single time. My first game here in 2014 was a lightning delay. So, yeah, you just got to deal with it. I think we handled it really well. We talked with the officials and the other team through the officials about whether we wanted to just make that halftime, and when the halftime came, just to make that a long media timeout, and thought it was a good decision that we all agreed, to do that. So we just had a long halftime, 3 minutes and 14 seconds early. Had the ball in the -28 with 3 minutes and 14 seconds and went down and scored. But then did not play well in the second half.
Your initial impressions of Arizona State and what they're going to bring to the table for you guys?
They're really good. They're super talented. They are very physical. Offensive line-wise, just talking to Coach Nethery, there's the Wisconsin offensive line, the 2019 Kentucky offensive line, and these guys are right there with those 2 groups of offensive linemen, just super physical, aggressive, big and strong. They run the ball about 65% of the time, and it's a lot of downhill with a quarterback that can, zone read it and keep it. So they come off the ball. It's going to be a physical, hard-hitting, going to try to move us run game. And then, the weapons on the outside are really fast and long, just another really good tight end. It's not, we're going across the country and it's going to be a spread and, we're going to be playing in space and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be, physical game. And then defensively starts with their D-line. They're really deep there. They're really talented. Again, just very physical. And they play a number of people, and things don't change when those guys come in. And then they're backed up by their two team captains or two inside linebackers that are, we think, two of their best players that are really, really good box players, but they run, they can cover, and then a really talented secondary, probably led by one of their corners, number 7. So, they're super talented.
Last question for me. Talk about the challenges this week. You just had a long trip to Louisiana. You guys get back early Sunday morning. Now you got to go way out west and play a really late kickoff. It feels like you have a short prep time, but Saturday you really got to maintain that to a late night kickoff too, and be ready to go at what would be 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they're back to back. Not to mention the weather, right? Just you're going down south, and then you're going to the desert, and 2 late games. We got back around 5 a.m. I know some of the guys never slept before we even met, later that night, which is not good. So anyway, it is what it is. We gotta get prepared, and we will. Might adjust practice a little bit here this week, just making sure that our guys are rested. But it's both this week, and then the cumulative effect, of the next week and the ensuing week. So we just got to be really smart with that. Our guys got to be disciplined and get rest to make sure they're eating right. We'll be ready to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, last week on campus, the teachers voted to go on union strike, or the union decided to go on strike last week. A lot of your players missed classes because of it. They're back in class now that their things are solved, but I'm just kind of wondering what your thoughts are on the matter. It's a big deal that's getting a lot of national attention. There's a lot of grads that are paying attention to the story.
Yeah, I don't think that our guys missed class. They didn't go to class if the professor had canceled it, or if they went to class and then what the university put out was, if you're in class, there's not a professor there, be there for 15 minutes, before you leave, and that the students, all of our guys, were still responsible for the coursework. So that's the mode of operation that we went through last week, and obviously it wasn't ideal, but I think we got through it just fine.
On the football, Taylor Powell had a great first game last week, not so great. Just kind of your reactions on his performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's the turnovers. When you talk about drops, we calculate a 12% rule with penalties, sacks, drops, and turnovers. When you think of sacks, you think of the offensive line. That's not always the case. There's coverage sacks, there's backs, there's tight ends, there's quarterbacks, all have something to do with sacks or can. And then drops, sometimes they're bad balls. And it's just an awesome effort by a receiver. Penalties are pretty, spoken for in that way. It's not necessarily a shared responsibility. But turnovers can be as well. Quarterback, when you throw 3 interceptions, that's going to be his stat line and whatnot. And they can be on him, but they're not necessarily, all on him. I thought he played well at times, and I think that I probably didn't do a great job in that third quarter of running the ball enough to keep us balanced. Try to be balanced, or more balanced in the first half. We were more effective throwing the ball than we were running the ball, so it slowly got away from that, and then we got behind. 55 throws is a little bit too many for us. Anytime you're playing a good defense and you're behind and trying to come back, you can get yourself into trouble. So I'm not concerned. He's a really good quarterback. He kept his composure and his head, all the way through. So like I said, we need to make this last week in terms of the turnovers, an anomaly.
You guys have found some success on offense through the Wildcat, especially close to the goal line. Samson Evans, he's already gotten some rushing touchdowns. Darius Boone got his first yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago rather. And Aaron Jackson, he got his first career touchdown too at the tight end spot out of that. How have you guys utilized that Wildcat package to your advantage?
Well, it's really just been short yardage, up to this point, like you said, goal line and short yardage. And, we've, when you go ahead and do a self-study of the season, afterwards, we feel as though the last couple of years we've been pretty efficient in our short yardage package. And you always want to have, adjustments and additions and ways to keep people honest and to attack in ways where we think they might be weak when they're trying to stop what we're doing. So that jump pass was just, one of those adjustments off of that. But, when you've got a back leading for Samson, you got Samson with the ability to give it to Haas or Tanner, whoever it is, on the jet sweep, and then, running power out of that, essentially quarterback power. There's a lot of different things to defend. And, our offensive line and those tight ends are coming off the ball, and when Samson gets ahead of steam, he's a tough runner. And so it's been really effective for us.
Yeah, and you mentioned that jump pass that happened with two former high school quarterbacks. Samson, he was
That's right.
with his team, and
Yeah.
Jackson, he caught it. But for Jackson, he made the tight end switch a few years ago from quarterback to tight end. What's it been like for him to make that big position change and now finally getting his first career touchdown?
Yeah, it'd be a great question for him. I think he was definitely excited. It ended up being, it's interesting because touchdowns are a really big deal and whatnot, but for him, he did a really good job selling it and releasing, but it was an easy catch, right? He's just turning around backwards and it's like me throwing you the ball right now. So it's a big deal and exciting and all that, but the actual execution of the play, it was really, quite simple. So that might take away some of the initial celebration. But he's done a good job of that transition, getting into that H position. He's a really good athlete, and we're asking him, unlike at the quarterback position, to learn how to block and still run and catch the ball and all those different things, and he's really coming along.
Last question, looking at Arizona State, we talked about the team a lot already, but Emory Jones, their quarterback, the Florida transfer, just kind of wanted to see, what are your opinions on him? What kind of troubles are you going to give your guys' defense? Yeah,
he's just really dangerous. He's got so many weapons, and then he's a weapon himself, keeping the ball on zone reads, and they have some quarterback design stuff. I just would say he's really dangerous. But it really does start with their offensive line. Their running backs are really, really, really good. Just again, physical, downhill runners that can scoot at the same time. It just, with their offensive line, it just makes everything go. So there's a lot to defend. They do, run more than they pass the ball. That's how they're wired, and a lot of really good teams are. I think that's the makeup of their staff and whatnot too, is to be able to do that first. But so he'll be a big part of it. He's good.
Dave Grickey, I know you're online. Would you like to chime in with a question? All right. TJ Peavy's our guest today. I know he's been a guy that's been a part of your program since transferring in, was here and then got a scholarship. How has he really made an impact now working himself into a starter the last few years?
Oh, man, TJ's a huge part of our program. We recruited him out of high school, really, really glad that he's spending, the vast majority of his college years here at Eastern Michigan. He's from the great state of Georgia. We've had a number of players from there. He's a great fit, again, on and off the field. He was playing in the secondary at corner at his previous institution there at the Air Force Academy, and we've got him playing that hybrid safety, and think it's a great fit for him. He's playing at a high level right now. And then, just off the field, he's the kind of person that we want representing our program. He's serious about school and just one of those kind of guys that you just want people to meet because he's just a great representation of who we are and who we want to be. One of the spiritual leaders, on our team. His faith is super important to him, and he lives it. So proud of him and love having him part of our football team.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Go get him, man. TJ, could you talk a little bit about the second half of that game against Louisiana and what you guys were seeing in the defensive secondary?
I'd say first half, just kind of go out the first half first for a little bit. Played very physical. They came out running the ball. I thought they were going to be able to run the ball on us, and they weren't able to do that. And I guess coming to the second half, we kind of figured, okay, we're up 14 points, and we knew they were going to kind of throw the ball a little bit, but our guys were in position to make plays, and sometimes it just didn't go down for us. So,
what's the positive you can take away from a game like that as you guys get ready to play Arizona State and start moving into conference play after that?
I think the biggest positive we can kind of take away is learning how to finish. I think coming into this game, we were up 14-0. I feel, to me, as if we had the right attitude going into the lightning delay and everything like that. And I feel like we still had energy in terms of wanting to play and want to beat this team. But like I said, we just didn't finish. And I think we just learned from that. And like you just said, going into Arizona, they're going to be a tough team to beat. And there could be times when we're down or we could be up. And we just got to learn to keep fighting, play tough, play hard and fast. And I feel like if we continue to do that, we'll be just fine.
I've seen you make some nice open field tackles. Did you develop that skill as a cornerback as you moved to safety? Did that position initially help you as far as being able to play in open space?
I think it did a little bit, but I always pride myself on tackling, working on it each and every day. And our coaches, they work with us big time, pretty much every day. It's a big emphasis for our team, and it is tackling and defeating blocks, and so we work on it each and every day. And I feel like that's helped me a lot, and I try to work on it. This past year, that was a big emphasis for me to improve my tackling, and I feel like I did that. So,
is there anybody you look to in the NFL that you try and pattern your game after?
For me, I would probably say either Derwin James or Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams first because he's just physical. I love the way he plays, energetic, and I would like to be that way. I kind of emphasize and model my game after him, and so yeah, I say those two.
How much tape have you seen of Arizona State so far, and what's going to be the challenges for you guys?
A little bit. I would say, like Coach just said, they're very talented up front, and quarterback. I'm from Georgia originally, and their quarterback is from Georgia as well, and I believe we're in the same class coming out of high school, and he was very, very highly recruited. We played 7-on-7 against each other, so I know we can do pass game and also run game. He's a big kid, can run the football, very physical. Same as well with the running backs. They run pretty hard, downhill guys, so I would say they're going to be a pretty tough team to beat. So.
Did you ever play against them in a regular game? Or
Not a regular
7-on-7?
game, just 7-on-7, yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, TJ.
DJ, did you play in the 4-2-5 system like at all, like at Air Force or in high school growing up?
In high school, yes, I did. At Air Force, no, I was just strictly at the corner position.
Okay. How has that experience kind of helped you kind of like get settled in here and kind of like know your role and your assignments?
I think it helped a lot. I mean, coming out of high school, that's what I originally wanted to play, was in a 4-2-5 defense where I can kind of be in a box while also being in coverage and covering the slot guys and things of that nature. Because I'm a big hitter guy, I like to hit, be in the box and things like that. So it wasn't that big of an adjustment because I came here. That's what I really originally wanted to do. I thought going in at first at Air Force, I thought corner was going to be a good fit for me. Didn't have as much fun as I wanted to at it, and I missed the position of being that hybrid player. And Eastern, they took a chance on me with that and kind of ran with it. So.
Yeah, like I've noticed it allows you to do like a lot of different things. You can like hurry up and get like on an outside blitz with like Joe on the other side too to make things hard on the quarterback, dropping in coverage. What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the like stealing one away from the receiver, or do you want to getting the quarterbacks checked?
That's a tough one. I love the blitz, man. I think that's probably the most fun part about it. I love the blitz coming off the edge, and like you said, I can do a variety of different things. I can cover like a corner, I can blitz like a linebacker, I'm in the fit like a linebacker as well. So I think just the versatility of the position, I enjoy the most. But like you just said, I think I enjoy the blitz part the most.
Do you think you're getting more of like a leadership role with this team with the longer that you're staying on it and the more that you're staying a starter?
Yeah, I say I would. I would say I would. I definitely think my leadership has progressed over the past couple of years. I'm more so of a quiet guy, but this team, they've kind of brought me along ever since I've gotten here, and I love our guys, and I feel as if the longer that I've been here, I've definitely taken that leadership role upon myself and to better that. So, yeah.
Last question. What do you think you guys have to get better at or stay good at to, finish your guys' goal in winning a MAC championship this year?
Playing hard, being physical, each and every game, and fast. And as we come in each and every week and practice hard at a high level, and our coach always tells me, play at an elite level. Whether it's practicing, film watching, everything we do wants to be at an elite level, and not just trying to get through the day, get through the practice, things of that nature, but just trying to be elite and be an elite player and also an elite defense. So I think that's what we got to do.
Thank you.
What's harder to play in, that altitude at Air Force or heat like the desert?
I would say, honestly, at Air Force, the altitude really didn't get to me that much. I don't know if that had to do with me being in shape or anything like that. I'm not trying to brag, but I would probably say just the heat. I mean, I guess even from being down south, I know that I've never been really out west where the heat like that, where it's heat like that. But just trying to prepare for that and being hydrated and things like that. So I think the heat's gonna definitely be a challenge for us. But like I said, I should be used to it growing up
I've
down
been
south.
there for a long time, and I've been to games at Air Force, but I know you can feel like you're dying if you go up 3 flights of stairs
Exactly.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's
Sometimes, yeah.
that's a tough way to go. Thanks, TJ.